Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. Last night, the Braves lost their third game at home at Truist Park since the All-Star break. And if you thought the first half was frustrating, this one is off to, I would even say,
Way worse
somehow and even more frustrating because you lose 3 out of 4. Then Max Fried goes down. Then Ozzy Albies fractures his wrist. He may be done for the rest of the season. You don't know when Max Fried, Ronaldo Lopez. We now have this question of, is he going to be this year's version of Bryce Elder? And while I don't think he's going to be this year's version of Bryce Elder, as I don't think he's going to have a 5.6 ERA or something like that. I do think we can all expect regression to come like it was always coming, a 1.88 ERA, lowest in the majors. No one, there's only a select few pitchers in the history of baseball over an entire season that have had a sub-2 ERA. So regression, of course, was coming. Is it going to be Bryce Elder-like regression? I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But, the aces of this staff, we've always known, have been Max Fried, Chris Sale, and Spencer Strider. Obviously, Spencer Strider is out. But Ronaldo Lopez, can he be that third guy? I think that's really what you're hoping for. Hopefully he has, a 3, maybe a sub-3 ERA. But if it's 3.5 or something, I think, especially when you consider fatigue and him not being a starter for quite some time, still a pretty good season. Still a very, very good season for Ronaldo Lopez. So I'm not gonna one bad start. He's only had like 1 or 2 bad starts all season. I'm not gonna go Bryce Elder. He's gonna completely fall off a cliff. But regression was always going to come.
Yeah, and I think the main thing, Braves fans can take solace in that he'll never become Bryce Elder is because the stuff Bryce Elder couldn't even, hold Ronaldo Lopez's jockstrap, even with him taking some off of his fastball and, everything else with the fatigue. But he did enough for the Braves to win that game in a different season. It's just been that same song and dance. Like Sean Murphy got unlucky yesterday, probably should have driven in 2 runs. I'm blanking on the guy's name that made that catch for the Reds. I know he's a Georgia native, but it's just been one of those games that it perfectly encapsulated what the Braves season has been. One facet doing enough, maybe some bad luck, maybe some bad approaches. Matt Olson. Austin Riley left the game in the 9th inning. Congrats to Daddy Austin. Hopefully his new baby brings some luck to the Atlanta Braves, which is pathetic. We're like praying to omens now.
We're at the point in the season.
That's Mets stuff.
Yes,
by
but
the way.
At the same time, it seems like there's been some omens that have cursed the Atlanta Braves. I mean, we didn't even really mention it, but Whit Merrifield shows up, right? And the guy gets injured. Now, of course, it turns out not to be a fracture, but like it's just the
routine ground ball stuff.
Yeah, and it's like any fracture, or we're going straight to MRIs to see if he fractured his finger. I mean, like it's crazy. I mean, and Brian Stinker said you can't make this stuff up. You quite literally. I mean, I said it yesterday. I don't think there's ever been a team that I've ever covered, that I've ever remembered closely, that's been this struck by the injury bug. And it's just the significant injuries. I mean, you look at this entire lineup, it's all been injured. You look at the pitching staff, you've lost your best pitcher. Now your second best pitcher is also on the IL with them. I mean, it seems like every day I'm just sitting there praying. I don't even care about a win or a loss. I'm praying but everybody gets home safely, right?
Yeah. Austin Riley has missed significant time. Mike Harris has missed significant time. Obviously, Spencer Strider, Ron Acuna, Sean Murphy has missed significant time. I wish Matt Olson would miss some significant time. Good Lord Almighty. I mean, literally every single significant AJ Minter, Pierce Johnson, and I know those guys are back now, but like literally every major contributor other than Marcell Ozuna and Chris Sale have missed significant time, not just a week, significant time.
I don't know. I mean, you mentioned Matt Olson. I know you're getting frustrated. I know a lot of Braves fans are getting frustrated, but like it's getting to the point where it's like I don't even really know what to say about this guy, because the guy has 0.0 F4. He's making over $20 million this year. I mean, he's been absolute dog crap. I mean, I don't want to we can't sugarcoat how bad this guy's been.
How could you sugarcoat it?
And it's not just offensively. I mean, he made a couple of defensive plays and people were like, oh, Matt Olson's defense. Have you all watched the entire season? Yeah. Like, did you watch the game yesterday? He misses a pick and then a weak ground ball gets past him, and Adam Duvall did, kind of doubled the mistake, and that he didn't realize Ellie De La Cruz, who's the fastest player on planet Earth, was going to test his arm from right field. So he coupled the mistake, but it's like, that's a ball that even if you don't get the out, that ball should never get into right field. And frankly, when you're hitting,
when you're this bad, you better have nothing should get by.
I mean, every single aspect of your game should be like, at the very least, I'm going to try hard and be focused and stuff like that. And I get when you're playing like crap, sometimes it tends to wear in other areas. But if you're Matt Olson, you can't let that happen, man. Like, there's too many expectations for you. I mean, I think the expected batting average on that ground ball was 120, right? Like, that's a play that every first baseman that is considered good defensively
There's D2
makes.
guys out there that like a vast majority of people
and it's just been one of those years for Matt Olson. We keep talking about how he's going to turn around. Well, he better turn it around, frankly, because frankly, I don't know what the Braves are going to do, but it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for him. I mean, he is terrible.
Yeah, last night was the first time also that I at least remember seeing him like visibly show frustration. He swung at a pitch and it was one of those pathetic, just like throw your hands out at it, strike 3 called. And before the catcher was out of his stance running to the dugout, it was the end of the inning. Matt Olson was turning around and looking at the ump, and I didn't quite make out what he was saying. I don't know if you caught this, but I was just wondering. I was like, you swung at that. Usually they'll ask, was that a strike or was that a ball? But it looked like he was arguing, and it was just one of those instances where he's frustrated clearly, and he's taking it out on the wrong guy. Obviously, I saw, I've been, tweeting a lot about Matt Olson, and I've been his biggest defender, since his time here in Atlanta. And I'm starting to, I'm about to put Granny back in the cage, if you know what I mean. And somebody tweeted me and was like, it looks like he's not even trying out there. And that kind of stuff frustrates. He's probably trying too hard. Like, he's probably pressing. He's probably trying to hit everything 500 feet. Like, he's not doing all of the little things that made him so good last year, like swinging through left field and left center, like Chipper Jones always says. Like, you got to swing through the ball on the outside play. Like, anything outside away from him, it's impossible. He'll never get it. And I don't know what it is. He can't hit a fastball. He can't hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. He can't hit a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. He can't hit anything. He can't hit anything inside. He can't pull anything. I don't know what it is. And when he finally does get a hold of something, he gets bad luck. Everything is going against Matt Olson this year. And quite frankly, like, I'm snit. I mean, I'm watching this guy flail and flail and flail. Like, at a certain point, give a guy a day off. At a certain point,
I'm not a day off guy.
Throw Zuna at first base and d'Arnaud or Murphy in the DH and let's roll.
And Matt Olson hasn't missed a game, and I don't know how many games. He's the longest active streak and playing. And listen, I respect the Iron Man. I respect a guy that wants to be out there. I mean, it's something that's really been in the Braves' blood, and it's not in a lot of other organizations. But it still stems from those Freddies, those Dansbys, those Chipper Jones, all the way down since the 90s, right? It's been something that you show up to the ballpark and play every day. I respect that he's kind of carried that load. But I agree with you. If there was ever a guy that needed a day off, man, Matt Olson. And frankly, right, it would actually be kind of funny. It'd be kind of funny if they did it tonight, right? Like, Austin Riley's not there. Like, how is that lineup going to look? Whit Merrifield playing first base, like Marcell Ozuna. Give Marcell Ozuna a chance.
Get the Big Bear first base try. I mean, you never know until you know.
I want to see it live, too.
Which is kind of pathetic that we're 4 games out of the All-Star break. The biggest break these guys get all year long, or the longest break these guys get all long. 4 games out of the All-Star break, and we're talking about giving Matt Olson another break. I mean, that's just what this season's going towards.
And I don't know if that's the answer.
It's probably not the answer, but we got to do something.
Yeah, I don't think it's the answer. It's hard for me to do the Matt Olson thing because, like, I don't even want to go into, like, other things, like, about, like, the Freddie thing. I'm talking about strictly, like, bro, this guy is sucking. Like, and it is bad. Like, and it's not just, like, we're not in, like, a 40-game sample size.
This isn't like he's bad in comparison to what could have been. He's bad into comparison of every first baseman in the
He's one of the worst first basemen in baseball. And if you look at the last month, I mean, it's almost unthinkable. I mean, we always kind of laugh and say, oh, like, could I do that? And it's like, bro, like, the guy's hitting below 100 over 31 games. Like literally you could go put out there a D3 athlete and he might be able to give you that kind of production. I mean, it's been that bad. And I know he's frustrated. I know he's trying. I'm not going to sit up here and say he's not trying. But at the end of the day, trying ain't enough. Not when you're making $20+ million. You got to start making plays. You got to start doing something. I don't know. Be a more vocal leader. Do something. Bring something to the table.
Fight somebody. Right? Smack somebody in the face. Like, literally, it doesn't matter. Do something other than what you're doing.
Yeah, like,
if you're going to go 0 for 4, maybe throw a bat against the wall. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Do something.
Yeah, I think that's the most frustrating aspect for a lot of Braves fans. Is just like, it's not that you're just not hitting, you're not playing defense, you're not really a vocal leader. Like, what do you bring into this damn team? And right now it's nothing. And right now you're hurting the team. And I know he knows that. So we're almost speaking.
We're just
to a
bagging.
wall. But it's hard to watch. Like it's like we've held this in for months, right?
I've
like
been defending you all year long.
Yeah, I mean, you have. I don't know anyone that's been defending Matt Olson more than you, except for from fearless lovers that love his looks on Twitter or something.
Don't care about baseball at all. They're just like, he's hot.
He's great looking, man. I mean, that's about all he's doing. He's standing there and looking pretty.
Yeah, that literally is all he's doing. I mean, good Lord Almighty.
It sucks because but what do we always say, right? Like all we need is 1 month out of you, Matt. Can you just give us like a little good stretch going into September?
Every single one
in October.
Hit list the rest of the season if you go nuclear in October.
Hit 7 homers in October. Like I literally do not care about what you do right now. And that's what we've been saying, really. That's kind of what kind of gives you hope about baseball is that like as much as we love the regular season, we've seen how useless it can be, and that it just takes a couple talented guys like we know the Braves still have to get hot at the right time, and you have the pitching staff that can hold the opposing team. So hopefully that happens. Maybe it's a reverse of the last 2 years. That's all we can hope for at this point.